Welcome back to my channel, and happy Shark Week, everybody. Today's the start of Shark Week, for those of us who celebrate that annual week every year of pure joy and terror. Today we are, ironically, not taking a look at a Sharktacon. I did post a Sharktacon video last year for Skybite, which you can check out on my channel here as well. There's probably a lot more cussing than I'm going to do today. But today we're taking a look at the Kingdom Galvatron figure. Now, Galvatron, I know if you're watching this, you probably know who the hell Galvatron is. But for those of you who don't, the whole 6 of you out there, Galvatron is the upgraded form of Megatron in most continuities. Not all, but most. Usually, it is some sort of power-up that Galvatron, or Megatron rather, gets in the 86 movie after he's brutally wounded in his fight with Optimus Prime. He is upgraded by Unicron. In different universes, of course, the way Galvatron comes about all depends on why they need to trademark the name and repaint the Megatron figure at that point. Otherwise, what else to tell about him? He is the Emperor of Destruction. He is the city commander. He is the leader of Decepticons post Megatron's downfall. Again, most continuities. Even in IDW, he took over the Decepticons after Megatron became a good guy. He is also a lot less sane in both the original comics, from what I've read, because I didn't read them, unfortunately. There's irony in that statement. And the 86 cartoon, he is driven mad by what is going on around him. Or rather his upgrade, and it makes him, in my opinion, I always preferred Galvatron over Megatron. I know that's almost blasphemy for Transformers nerds to say, but I just liked that he was actually more terrifying. He wasn't just attacking Starscream and Optimus. He was attacking anybody and everybody who looked at him funny. And the whole Web World episode is one of the best cartoon episodes from the original cartoon. It was just so stupid and silly, and seeing him make a gun out of paper mache in therapy is always one of those stupid images, and I'm glad got in there. But you're not here to hear me ramble. You're not here to take a look at this box. You're here to take a look at this figure. So let's get rid of the box for now. And of course, we have the Studio Series Grimlock background, which I like to use for all backgrounds for Transformers, because I do think it's the perfect background. And let's talk about this figure. Look at it. Look at it. Look how badass it is. It is great. But before we talk about this, we're going to talk about his alt mode. Alright, so here we have him all geared up in his cannon mode. Now, this is a very fun-looking cannon. It is a very sci-fi vibe, so it does look awkward and weird, but it's still cool at the same time. Now, he is supposed to be a mobile cannon, and because of that, he does have wheels, so he does actually roll. Now, not well, but hey, he does roll. He is supposed to be a cannon that other characters can aim and shoot, so we put little Galvatron here. Looks really cool, actually. Looks like he's looking into a giant telescope. But it is fantastic. Now, it's not perfect. Nothing in life is perfect, except for maybe me. But as you can see here, it does look really cool. I'm going to take off the accessories, because I think, as much as I like them on there, it ruins what I'm trying to talk about, I think. And that's just how well they've done with making this figure. Now, the Matrix does tab into a slight tab on this chest, just so you know. But as you can see here, he looks fantastic. He looks like Galvatron, and it is a fun transformation. The only part I'm worried about here is how this part tabs into here. It's 2 very thin tabs, and I'm worried about breakage for those, or stress marks at least. But other than that, I mean, just look at this. This transformation, other than the arms, which is pretty much identical to the Titan's Return, is very fun. This completely hides in robot mode, and you do it by folding it in and that. And you can see the chest is right here, but the chest, you actually have to manipulate it, open this up. It's cool, and how this forms is these are just the legs. You pull it down and you have these 2 extra pieces here. But again, this looks great. This looks menacing. I almost wish I had a Starscream I could melt down just so I could shoot him with it and recreate that scene. Oh, the stupid joys of being a 40-year-old nerd. But other than that, I mean, just look at it. It is a fantastic figure. Just to show you just what it looks like now. Again, I don't have many other Galvatrons. I have sold most of them. The only ones I have currently are Titan's Return and the Creo figure that you've seen. But just to show you how much better he looks. And don't get me wrong, I like the Titan's Return figure. I think it's a cool figure. But this just looks that much better. It looks like what they were attempting to do, which is really what this whole line has been about. Making these toys for us 40-year-old nerds so we can relive our childhood and get the toys we always imagined we had. But yeah, so this is the vehicle mode. Again, not much to talk about. You can, of course, adjust the height by manipulating the arms and treads here. But other than that, nothing else really. And of course this. Now, the original Generation 1 Galvatron had a gun mode. I've seen some people try to make one out of it online in different places. Sorry, roommate's dog. Other than that, nothing really there. And of course, like I said, you can manipulate this, give it like more of a cannon feel or more of a artillery feel. It is a really cool alt mode, and it does look really, really fun. But yeah, so let's go ahead. I'm going to get him into robot mode, and we'll talk about him in robot mode again. I'm going to show you this anyways. Now, I'm cheating here because this tab into this is really tight. But just to show you just how well this is. Now, this is all down here. You bring it up, and you have to kind of separate these 2 pieces. You bring this back, you pull that forward, and you get that whole head. This folds in. It's kind of, sort of. Come on. And then this whole assemblage here comes back and covers it. Then once the arms are up, it completely hides it. It is a very fun piece of engineering, in my opinion. Alright, we're back, and we do have Galvatron in his fantastic robot mode. Now, I've had a few Galvatrons over the years. I usually sell them. And don't have a Generation 1 Galvatron, unfortunately. But let me just say that this figure is absolutely fantastic. Now, it's not perfect. It is far from perfect. It is, well, not really far from perfect. It's damn close to being perfect, in my opinion. First thing to talk about is just how well designed it is. This whole transformation scheme is really simple, yet really complex. And the parts that make me not as comfortable with him without making him perfect are because of the way that tabs are designed these days. But we'll talk about that in a second. We just want to first just take a look here at just how beautiful this detailing is. You do have that classic Galvatron face. It's got that scowl. I'm actually kind of surprised it didn't do a smirk. You do have lots and lots of design, and his vehicle mode does hide pretty well, exception of the treads, but you kind of figured that. And of course, the 2 guns here as well can store on, but they don't really look good stored on, so I'm not going to bother with them. And as we've already seen, I mean, he has the Matrix accessory. It just kind of hangs off there. If you do knock him over, that thing goes flying, and good luck finding it again. But as far as what keeps this robot mode from being perfect, and what makes it great, first off, he's got weight to him. Listen, you can hear that. He does have heft, which a lot of other figures lately haven't had. And that definitely gives him that much more oomph, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and take these out. Now these tab onto his back if you can store them either facing down like this or up like this. Like I said, I don't like it necessarily, so I'm not going to bother doing it. But where I have an issue is when you try to pose him. Now I don't know if this is for everybody. By the way, I have the fixed shoulders versus some of the people don't. When I try to pose him, whenever I try to move this side, this whole assembly comes undone. And so it makes it hard to pose him without trying to figure out how to do it without this moving. Now, granted, I'm posing it, it's just for myself. No one else needs to see it, but I still prefer to being able to do that without having to fix it. Because it does make me worry about the tabs not sticking into place. And of course, just like any weapon these days, you slightly blow on this wrong, it'll fall off. But other than that, he's great. Now, this is really good. This made me happy. Wrist rotation. Oh, how I've missed you. As far as articulation goes, his head is on a ball joint. He does look around a little bit. These pylons, because of how they transform, they can move, and that adds to your posability. Elbow, you do get all the way up. Now, you don't get all the way back because of the treads, but if you kind of move the treads, you can get a little bit more. He does get upper arm rotation. It is very tight, and again, because of the treads, it'll lock in sometimes. No ab crunch, but he does get a good waist rotation. He does get full kick. He can only go back about that far. Knees, pretty good. Feet, don't go up and down, but you do get some pretty good ankle tilt, or whatever people are calling it these days. But because of the way it transforms, some pieces might get stuck. Otherwise, like I said, my only real complaint in robot mode is this, how it's not connecting. I've seen some other people and heard some other people talk about they don't like the battle paint, but come on, he's a warrior, he should be battle damaged. And again, he does look really good. And I do love just how hefty and menacing he looks. Let's go ahead and compare him to a few other figures here. Now, Cyclonus, unfortunately, is in storage at the moment, so he isn't going to be using this. Let's go ahead and get Siege Hot Rod. Studio Series Hot Rod. Just so you can see just how much bigger Galvatron is. He only comes up to that Decepticon symbol there. Let's go ahead and grab my Titans Return Galvatron, who is a lot taller, like a head taller maybe, but there's no weight to him, and like most other figures these days, he doesn't like standing up on his own. Now, he is with upgrade kit that I purchased online, where you have the helmet and the cannon extender. But just to show you just how much different they are, you have two different shades of purple. On camera, they look vastly different. This one almost looks blue here, but I assure you it is purple. This one is a lighter purple. This one is actually showing more the true color than this one. But when you have them not on camera, they do look relatively good together. They just like different upgraded forms of the same character. And then one of my Siege Megatrons here. Now, I have to have him on a stand because he won't stand up on his own. But yeah, so you can see he is even taller than Megatron, and Megatron's even standing on a stand, giving him an old extra like millimeter or so. But just to show you just how much larger and better this figure is. And again, wait, nice light click. Nice light click. Thunk. That just gives it a little bit more oomph. For those of you wondering the price point, yes, this is ridiculously priced, but it does have that oh, and one more Galvatron. Like I said, I have unfortunately sold the rest of my Galvatrons, but just because those figures are crap. I really like this figure, and I do like the Titans Return one too, don't get me wrong, especially once I got the upgrade kit. But this just looks better. It looks more menacing, and it looks more like the character in the cartoons. And that's really what this whole line's been doing, is basically giving us 40-year-olds the toys that we always wish we had when we were kids. The ones that look like the character and feel like the character. And I almost want to get a Starscream and melt them down just so I can recreate some cool battle damage scenes. But hey, it is what it is. Alright, so that is my rambling, pointless review for this figure. If you liked, please comment down below. Please hit subscribe, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching.